If you want to deliver a TEDx talk that leaves an impact, present to impress. In this video, I'll share with you my top 12 very practical tips that I've learned from standing on a TEDx stage twice myself. And even your clothing matters. The first tip is the 1 minute rule. The 1 minute rule is that for each minute that you speak, you prepare 1 hour. Now, this is TEDx level, so I would triple that rule. This is quality. This is high standard. This is not just a speech or an event that you do once and then it goes away and there it is. You don't have room to stumble. You don't have room to wing it. This is TEDx. It goes on the TED channel. It stays there for years and years. How many TED Talks are on there 10 years ago, still gathering millions of views? Put in the time and effort to deliver the quality that is required. Number 2, the way you memorize your speech will influence the way you deliver your speech. So the way you practice in front of a mirror, record yourself, listen to yourself, speak out loud in front of the mirror, see yourself and let it absorb into your subconscious. But also watch your gestures, your facial expressions, your arms, your hands, your movements, and make sure that you practice exactly the way you will deliver. I've made a video on exactly how to memorize, how to record yourself, look at yourself, all of that, and I'll link to that video below. But the way you memorize the tone, the volume, the pace, the silences, the pauses, the gestures, all of that, memorize that, and that is exactly how you will deliver with an impact. Number 3 is ask for feedback, but not your friends and not your family. You will hear things like, "You're amazing, you're so good, oh, it's amazing." No, it's not. I've heard all of those. But ask feedback to someone who is an expert, who knows, who will watch what are you doing, what are you delivering, how are your hands, your gesture, your facial expressions. When I'm coaching speakers, I'll look at the content. Is your message coming out? Is it clear? Are you articulating? What's the volume? What's the pace? What's the tone? Are you including some silences? All of that matters. So watch who you're asking feedback, because feedback is very important, but it has to be valuable. Number 4, watch your filler words. Silence is okay. I had to learn this. In the very beginning, my very first practice round, I had so many uhs and ahs. Why? Because every time you say you're thinking, what's my next line? I can't forget my next line. It's okay to pause, to breathe, to have silences. And this is when you memorize and you practice those tips about memorizing and standing in front of the mirror and recording yourself, you'll catch yourself and you'll hear yourself saying uhs and ahs. Stop it immediately and make sure you practice the silences. Like this, a pause. It's okay. Just breathe, think, and then move on. But this is also why feedback matters, because they will tell you and catch you on that. By the way, if you like this content, please hit the like button. Thank you very much. Tip number 5 is practice everywhere in front of anybody. I used to practice at the gym in front of people sitting there having their coffee. I used to gather a few people in a room and practice for them. I practiced for my brother. I practiced for his girlfriend. I practiced for my parents. I just gathered people and I practiced. Why? Because I wanted to get used to people watching me delivering this specific TEDx talk. And sometimes it wasn't the entire talk, sometimes just a part of it, but I wanted to get used to my behaviors, my gestures. I wanted to look in people's eyes. I wanted to get the feedback from the people as well that don't really know me and that don't know the content. Does it resonate? Is my message coming through? Practice, 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 and get used to it. The next tip is to watch other TEDx talks, and not just to watch the content and their message. No, watch it in a very different way. When I was preparing for my TEDx talk, I watched so many other TED Talks and TEDx talks, and I really focused on how are they opening? What's their hook? What is the first 30 seconds? How are they behaving? How are their gestures? Are they moving a lot? Are they talking loud? What's the pace? What's the volume? How is the structure of the speech? Is there an intro? What's the body? Is there a clear conclusion? What's the conclusion in the end, the last 30 seconds of their speech? What's the last phrase? Are they using facts? Are they using figures? Are they using quotes? Are they using humor? Watch it in a totally different light. Watch and study the TED Talks. not just listen to the content. The next tip is go to the stage where you will deliver and get comfortable with the stage, the room. You have to deliver there, be there in advance, and very importantly, you will stand on a red carpet. How big is that carpet? Get comfortable with it. There are different sizes in carpets, by the way, so know, okay, this is the size, this is the distance that I can move around on, but get comfortable with where you will stand for real. The next tip is look into the eyes of the audience, but also of the camera. This will be filmed on Evergreen on the TED channel forever. It's good to get used to not only look at the audience, even if there's a lot of lights going on, you still can see some of the faces, look into their eyes and look into the camera. Know in advance where are the cameras going to be. There's usually 3 of them, and make sure that sometimes you have some eye contact with that camera. It makes it more pleasant to watch you afterwards. The next tip, water. Hydrate yourself. Drink a lot of water before you go onto that stage. You're more nervous than usual. When you get a dry throat, you can hear it in your voice when you speak. So you have to hydrate yourself, but also it's very warm. There's lights everywhere. So make sure to deliver a good flowing speech, that you're not dry and that you drink a lot of water before you get on that stage. The next thing is watch your arms and your hand movements and gestures, because if you move too much, it's very annoying, but if you don't move at all, it's not creating an impact. So make sure that you use the right amount, and that's something that your TEDx coach will help you with. Also, when you use your hands, try to open up your hands. No pointing, no fingers, not like this, because it's been tested psychologically that opening up is really inviting the audience to listen to you. And when you do this or this or this, you get an opposite effect. The next tip is not your hands, but your feet. I got the best tip ever when I did my first TEDx talk, and that is imagine you're clicking into ski boots. It's like click, click, and then you don't move anymore. And that's exactly it. You're standing on this red carpet, and yes, it's okay to do a little step on the side once and again, but there's some people sometimes that just wiggle from one end to another. No, imagine those ski boots, click, click, and just don't move. And then when you transition into a new paragraph, then maybe take a little step to the left or a little step to the right, but don't move all the time. It's very annoying to watch. The next thing is your clothing. It really matters, because you have a microphone that's here on your neck that comes to your face and your mouth, and there's a wire that goes all the way to the back, and that little box has to be attached somewhere. So the best thing is to have some pants with a belt so that it attaches very steadily and very well. If you're a woman and you want to wear a nice dress, it's great, but where will you attach it? It's just so much more challenging. So the best tip is to wear some pants with a belt so that it can attach on there, and it just will make everything so much easier and smoother, and you'll feel more comfortable too, so there's not wiggling or not moving around something. You don't want any distractions. You want to deliver with an impact. Now, with all of this preparation, you still feel some fear, then watch this next video where I go into detail to remove the fear and melt the fear away instantly.